Have you ever witnessed a moment when deep-seated arrogance collides with undeniable truth, leaving even the most confident voices in stunned silence? This is one of those moments, a dramatic live confrontation where a self-made Black entrepreneur dismantles a talk show host's misguided assumptions in real time. One evening at the set of The Parker Hour, the atmosphere was filled with anticipation. Bryan Parker, known for his provocative style and controversial questions, welcomed his guest, Dorian Hayes, a Black entrepreneur who transformed a modest startup into a tech empire against all odds. Parker began with a practiced smile that barely concealed his intent. "Tonight, we celebrate success. But I can't help wondering, Dorian, in today's world, did your race help you or hinder you on your way to the top? Some critics even claim you played the race card to leap ahead." His tone, laced with insinuation, sent a ripple of tension through the studio. Dorian's calm gaze never wavered. "I built my company from a cramped apartment, armed with nothing but a laptop and a vision," he stated evenly. "I faced rejection after rejection, over 40 times, simply because I was judged before I had a chance to prove my worth. Every no was a barrier meant to keep me out." His words carried the weight of hard-won experience and quiet defiance. As Parker pressed on, the studio's air grew thick with suspense. "But isn't it true," Parker challenged, "that in today's climate, diversity is more a marketing tool than a meritocracy? Isn't it convenient to credit your achievements solely to overcoming adversity?" His question was intended to unsettle, but it only fueled Dorian's resolve. A pause fell, the only sound the soft hum of studio lights. Then Dorian leaned forward, his voice measured and firm. "Bryan, let me ask you, how often have you had to fight your way to be heard? My journey wasn't about playing a card. It was about turning every rejection into a reason to work harder. While you sat comfortably in an industry built on familiar faces, I was out there proving every day that talent and perseverance defy expectations." The tension in the studio was palpable as the conversation shifted from rhetorical questions to personal revelations. Parker's confident facade began to crack as Dorian's words resonated with both the live audience and viewers at home. With each measured sentence, Dorian dismantled the preconceived notions that had long been the foundation of Parker's provocative inquiries. After a brief silence, Parker attempted to regain control. "So, Dorian, can you explain how you managed to overcome a system that was clearly set against you?" he asked, his tone betraying a hint of uncertainty. Dorian's response was calm but unyielding. "Overcoming obstacles is not about having the perfect start. It's about the relentless pursuit of a vision, even when every door seems closed. I turned every setback into a lesson, and every no into fuel for my ambition." The studio cameras zoomed in on Parker's face, capturing the dawning realization that his carefully crafted narrative was being unraveled before millions of eyes. The audience shifted uncomfortably in their seats, caught between admiration for Dorian's poise and the awkwardness of Parker's faltering rebuttals. Behind the scenes, producers exchanged nervous glances as the interview took an unexpected turn. Social media buzzed with anticipation. Live tweets and posts began to flood in, heralding the moment as a turning point in televised discourse. News anchors later remarked that the encounter was one of the most revealing interviews of the year. As the interview progressed, Parker's questions grew more tentative. "Do you believe that your success has altered public perceptions about what a Black entrepreneur can achieve?" he inquired almost hesitantly. Dorian paused, his eyes reflecting the weight of years of struggle and triumph. "Success isn't measured by public perception," he replied softly. "It's measured by the ability to rise above the obstacles, to redefine what is possible. My achievements are not a testament to a special advantage, but to the power of perseverance in the face of adversity." At that moment, the conversation shifted from personal achievement to the broader implications of systemic bias. Dorian continued, "When I look around, I see countless individuals who are still fighting for recognition. Every boardroom, every startup meeting, every opportunity is a battleground where stereotypes are challenged and broken. Tonight is not just about my story, it's about every person who has ever been told they were less than capable because of their skin color." The impact of his words reverberated throughout the studio and beyond. Parker's earlier bravado had evaporated, replaced by a somber introspection. In a rare moment of vulnerability, he admitted, "I never fully understood the depth of the challenges you faced until tonight. I realize now that my questions were rooted in assumptions that I took for granted." His confession, however tentative, marked a significant departure from the usual tone of the show. As the interview drew to a close, the atmosphere in the studio was charged with a mix of relief and lingering tension. Dorian's parting words were both a challenge and a call for unity. Change begins when we confront our biases and embrace the full spectrum of human experience. I hope tonight has opened eyes, not just here in the studio, but across the nation. And I hope that you, watching at home, subscribe to our channel. If you enjoy this video so far, a like would definitely be appreciated. Sorry for the interruption. Now let's look at the aftermath of this interview. In the aftermath of the broadcast, the ripple effects were immediate and far-reaching. Clips of the confrontation circulated widely online, sparking debates on news platforms, talk radio shows, and social media forums. The hashtag number Dorian defeats Parker trended for days, with commentators and ordinary citizens alike dissecting every word and expression. Bryan Parker found himself at the center of a media storm. In subsequent interviews, he acknowledged the lessons learned from that evening. "It was a humbling experience," Parker stated in a follow-up press conference. "I realize that the issues we discuss on air are not abstract. They are real, lived experiences for many. I am committed to rethinking my approach and ensuring that my platform is used to foster genuine dialogue rather than division." For Dorian Hayes, the night's events reaffirmed his belief in the power of resilience and integrity. Beyond the accolades and social media praise, he saw an opportunity to make lasting change. Within weeks, his company launched a new initiative aimed at mentoring young entrepreneurs from marginalized communities, providing them with the resources and support he had once lacked. "This is just the beginning," Dorian declared in an interview with a leading business magazine. "Every setback, every challenge I faced has led me to this moment of empowerment. I want to pay it forward and help dismantle the barriers that hold so many back." As America grappled with the profound questions raised by that televised encounter, one thing was clear. The narrative surrounding success and opportunity was shifting. The stark confrontation between two very different worlds, the privileged, comfortable assumptions of a seasoned host and the hard-fought reality of an underdog entrepreneur, had ignited a conversation that transcended the confines of the studio. In classrooms, boardrooms, and living rooms across the country, discussions began about the true nature of merit, the cost of bias, and the potential for transformation when we dare to question the status quo. The interview became more than just a media event. It evolved into a cultural milestone, a symbol of the ongoing struggle for equality and the relentless pursuit of justice. That evening, as the studio lights dimmed and the credits rolled, the legacy of that conversation was just beginning. It was a reminder that every word spoken on live television has the power to challenge perceptions, inspire change, and remind us all that success is not given. It is earned through relentless determination and the courage to stand up for what is right. In the end, the clash between Bryan Parker and Dorian Hayes was not simply a battle of words. It was a catalyst for a broader awakening. It forced a nation to confront uncomfortable truths and re-examine the narratives that had long gone unchallenged. As the echoes of that unforgettable night continue to resonate, one truth remains clear. When passion meets perseverance, the result is nothing short of revolutionary. Reflecting on that transformative evening, many saw it as a turning point in public discourse, a moment when the traditional barriers of privilege and prejudice were laid bare for all to see. Critics and supporters alike debated the long-term impact of Parker's faltering stance and Dorian's unwavering resolve. How would you have reacted in Dorian's situation? Let us know in the comments.